everybody, my name is Emily Lynn Shepard, and today I'll be reading from my book, The Name of the Game. The Name of the Game is a young adult romance and mystery novel, and it's about daughters of rivaling art tycoons. So let's jump right into Chapter 1, starting on page 5. The promise of newfound freedom, independence, and consequential adulthood followed most of America's high school graduates on their graduation day. For Celeste and Elena, daughter of prominent art tycoons, her own graduation day held the promise of a life of subjugation to her late father's company. She would become CEO of the illustrious and renowned Delaware Art Enterprises, and the commitment was daunting to say the least. Unfortunately, that was not the only dilemma lingering on her mind. The voice of her best friend, Elena Kensington, another socialite daughter of art moguls, haunted her guilty conscience. Every small declaration of love and admiration by Elena for her boyfriend replayed in Celeste's mind. The words were scandalizing, as Celeste had remembered a terrible mistake she committed the weekend prior to graduation, kissing Elena's boyfriend, Liam Montgomery. How will you face Elena? How could you face her today after what you did? Celeste's thoughts tormented her. What will happen if she finds out? Elena will never forgive you. That's why she can never find out. It was only a mistake, she told herself as she reminisced on the ill-fated evening in Malibu. After a weekend excursion of insatiable partying, Liam and Celeste found themselves alone, together on a sunset beach. The sky was bubblegum pink and baby blue, with soft white clouds scattered above the golden sun, all of which appeared to be derived from a Monet painting. Despite the beautiful view, Liam and Celeste found themselves lost in each other's crystal blue eyes. In an imprudent moment, they shared a regretful kiss. Gazing into the mirror on her bedroom wall, Celeste studied her golden reflection. Her fair skin was creamy white, and her light blonde hair was curled and styled perfectly in a low bun. She wore a pale yellow silk dress with matching beige stiletto heels. She easily could have been mistaken for a runway model heading to New York Fashion Week. But even though she looked like $1 million, she had never felt more cheap. During the weekend trip, Elena had stayed home to attend a special art auction, but didn't want to keep Liam from enjoying a last-minute getaway. She was entirely oblivious to the short romance between her boyfriend and her best friend. Upon returning home from Malibu, neither Liam nor Celeste spoke again of what had occurred. For Elena's sake, they chose to keep their indiscretions secret. Liam would go back to being Elena's faithful boyfriend, and Celeste would go back to being her trusty best friend. Keeping the tensions low would have been easier if there wasn't another rift between the two women. Illegal art auctions Celeste and Elena had been hosting for years were beginning to divide them as well. Celeste wanted their string of frivolous crimes to end, as she would become CEO of her late father's company, but Elena was not so willing. Throughout their friendship, Elena had always been slightly envious of Celeste. She believed her light was diminished by Celeste's shadow, but as a good friend would, she let it go. Elena would rather be happy for her friend, so she never let her jealousy bother her. Plus, she had one thing Celeste didn't. She had Liam. Now we're going to jump forward to page 18 of chapter 1. This is the scene at graduation when Elena finds out about the kiss. "Why did you do it?" Elena spat, crossing her arms. "Did you do it because you're lonely? Did you do it because you wanted to prove you could?" "No," Celeste replied, "of course not. I have standards." "You have rather low standards if you have to resort to stealing your best friend's boyfriend, if you ask me." The crowd cheered for Elena's comeback, further reinforcing her fiery attitude. Becoming more frazzled than fraught, Celeste spoke rapidly. "Let's not do this, Elena. We don't have to argue in front of everyone. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to hurt you. Liam and I simply got caught up in the moment. It didn't mean anything. I'd take it back if I could. I really would. Now, can we stop with this? I don't want to ruin graduation." In a cold frenzy, Elena slapped Celeste straight across her face, leaving a bright red mark on her pale cheek and causing another tumultuous uproar from her peers surrounding them. "And you had the nerve to say that I was making a bad name for myself in the art business," Elena snarled. "Well, look at you. You're on your way to making a bad name for yourself in every arena of business, especially the tabloid business, which I know you just love. Stop making a scene. You keep accusing me, but you're the one who loves being the center of attention. You're trying to be that right now, Celeste argued, before lowering her voice to a whisper. What you're doing in the art business is wrong, and nothing you say can change that. If you keep hosting those auctions, something bad is going to happen. Really? Elena laughed sarcastically, raising her voice loud so all the onlookers could hear. I'll definitely take life advice and business tips from you, Celeste. Look how well you're doing. Living a double life must be a great talent to have. If only I had that ability to lie and sneak behind your back like you did behind mine. Whatever. The gutter is waiting for you outside, Celeste. Why don't you go join the rest of the trash in it? Before she could even respond, Elena shoved Celeste, pushing her off balance. The crowd of onlookers circled around them and jested for a fight, chanting loudly, "Fight, fight, fight." Another student yelled, "Get her, Elena," while someone else hollered, "Celeste, don't let her push you around, fight back." It was a chaotic environment, and there was no escape for either of them. Brushing herself off, Celeste scoffed. "You can't be serious, Elena. You want to fight me?" "What? You think I can't handle it?" Elena fired back with a big smirk, pounding her fist in her hand. "I know you can't," Celeste snapped, stalking towards her. "I don't want to have to hurt you. Don't make me do this." Narrowing her gaze, Elena made a cold declaration which sent a shiver up Celeste's spine. "You already hurt me." Without warning, she then lunged for Celeste. Quick reflexes saved Celeste from the initial punch as she leaped to the side, but Elena reacted even more quickly and reached out to tug on Celeste's loose blonde hair. "Ow!" Celeste yelped. "Let me go! Stop being such a drama queen!" "Stop stealing people's boyfriends first!" Elena screamed, taking the opportunity to fully tackle Celeste. Soon enough, they were both sprawled on the floor in a catfight unlike anything their private preppy school had ever seen. Shimmering designer fabrics tore apart as Celeste and Elena severed all ties of their friendship. Now we're going to move on to Chapter 2, starting on page 30. This is the evening after graduation. After an eventful day, the DeLowry family home was surprisingly peaceful. Not a whisper nor clatter would have been heard in one of the many hallways of the mansion, as both Caroline and Celeste had gone straight to bed after the graduation ceremony concluded. The day had taken a toll on the both of them, except Celeste failed to fall asleep. She lay awake, thinking over the day's events, the arguments, and what the future would entail for herself, Elena, and Liam. Her thoughts tormented her as her worst fears dominated her mind. What if, Celeste thought, what if Elena never forgives me? What if she hates me forever? What will Liam do? Will he come back and fight for her? What about the art auctions? Will I have to continue in them while working as CEO? What will happen if somebody found out about them? What will happen to me and our family company? What would happen to Elena? The unmistakable yet unbearable answer lingered in her thoughts. We could all end up in prison, she realized. The haunting understanding briefly escaped her as she heard a loud knock from downstairs. Slowly, she crept out of her room, hearing the wooden floorboards creak underneath her weight as she walked towards the spiral staircase. Gazing into the living room below her, she saw nothing, then heard another loud bang. The sound was only someone at the front door. Letting out a sigh of relief, Celeste ran down the staircase to answer the door. She swung open the door and gasped in shock when she saw Liam standing before her. He was still wearing his black slacks and his white dress shirt, but he had ditched the suit jacket from earlier. His black hair kept falling onto his pale forehead, and he pushed it back nervously as Celeste led him inside her home. They walked into her living room together, where they sat down on the sofa. "I had to see you, Celeste," Liam admitted, sitting beside her. "I couldn't wait any longer." He gripped his hands anxiously as he awaited her response. "Why did you come here, Liam?" she asked. "I had to make sure you're okay. I'm here for you. I always have been." "Shouldn't you be making sure your girlfriend is okay?" After making the snide remark, Celeste jumped to her feet and walked across the room, leaning against the wall opposite of him. This was as far away as she could get from him, yet a feeling grew within her which longed to be closer to him. Liam stood up as well and declared, "I think it's fair to say Elena's not my girlfriend anymore. More importantly, I don't want to be her boyfriend anymore." They stared at each other in silence while struggling to conceal their attraction towards the other until Celeste spoke once more. "What are you trying to say, Liam? You came here for a reason." He strode towards her to close the remaining distance between them. Immediately, he took her limp body into his strong arms and his deep blue eyes held her captive. "Yes, I did," he answered, kissing her deeply without warning. So now we're going to flash forward to chapter 20 for a short little romantic passage that starts on page 206. We're reading The Name of the Game. This is my novel. It's a romance and mystery, and I'm so happy you guys are listening. So let's start with page 286. When one moved, the other followed, and when one inhaled, the other exhaled. Their senses were connected like neurons, and the two were so lost in the moment that they hadn't noticed that the front door of the cottage had come ajar. Rain trickled into the room, and the noise from outside was much larger. But Elena was so lost in Liam's ocean blue eyes, searching for pools and tides within them, that she hadn't noticed. Footsteps had barged in, but Liam was so caught up in his daydream-turned reality that he hadn't noticed that someone had been watching him the entire time from across the room. It wasn't until they momentarily pulled away from the kiss and a fist came barreling towards his own face that Liam noticed something was the matter. So listening.